Hey everyone, welcome to another brand new episode of Cult Movie Tuesday right here on Night Owl Video. Today I am talking about this film, Shallow Grave. So I hope you stick around. We'll be talking about cast, production, critical reception, my thoughts on the film, where you can watch it, and all of that jazz. So I hope you'll stick around. Thank you to everybody who's recently subscribed. I appreciate your support. Thank you to all the lovely comments and thumbs up. Keeps my channel growing, and I really appreciate that. And I hope you guys are enjoying all the reviews and stuff like that. I will have a new thrifting haul video this week, probably tomorrow. It won't be a big one because I didn't pick up a lot, but I got a few little treats there the other day, so that'll be coming up. But let's jump right into this movie, Shallow Grave, shall we? This is a black comedy slash horror slash thriller movie from 1994, directed by Danny Boyle, who of course also did Trainspotting, 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later. And this was his directorial debut. So I think based on this, this really launched his career. This movie's mostly just three actors, Carrie Fox, Christopher Eccleston, and Ewan McGregor. Carrie Fox was in The Hanging Garden, lots of Australian movies that I do not know. Christopher Eccleston, he was in the remake of Gone in 60 Seconds, 28 Days Later, and I always remember him as the 9th Doctor on Doctor Who. I didn't really get into Doctor Who. My son was really into it, and we watched some of the seasons together, and I really liked him as the Doctor. This also stars the incomparable Ewan McGregor, who of course was in Trainspotting as well as the Star Wars prequels, and he was also Danny in Doctor Sleep. Just on a side, I thought, I really do not like the Star Wars prequels. I'm old enough that like the original trilogy is my jam. But every once in a while I get this weird hankering to watch the prequels. I don't know why. And my God, every time I get like halfway through Attack of the Clones, I think, what am I doing with my time? This is just so bad. But I do have a soft spot for Phantom Menace, but that'll be for another day. But anyway, Ewan McGregor, always good in the stuff he does. The synopsis for Shallow Grave is when accountant David, played by Christopher Eccleston, Dr. Juliet, played by Carrie Fox, and journalist Alex, played by Ewan McGregor, are searching for a fourth roommate for their trendy flat. They settle on the aloof Hugo, played by Keith Allen. However, they soon find Hugo dead of a drug overdose, beside a large suitcase full of cash. After some deliberation, the three others decide to keep the money and to dismember and bury Hugo's body. Soon, each roommate starts thinking about keeping all the money by scamming the others, and it becomes a bit of a, watch your back kind of situation. I won't tell you what happens at the end, but... The production notes on this film: the production was funded by Channel 4 Television and Polygram Filmed Entertainment, and the film was distributed by Rank Film Distributors in the UK, while Columbia TriStar Film Distributors International distributed the film in other countries. The budget was $2.5 million, and the box office was $19.8 million. Shooting for Shallow Grave lasted for 30 days. The tight budgetary restraints during filming meant many of the props had to be auctioned off for them to afford sufficient film stock. So as they were going, they were selling off props to get money to buy more film. That's what you call low budget filmmaking. Danny Boyle claimed that Christopher Eccleston was so afraid of getting locked in a real-life mortuary for a scene, he had to ask a crew member to stand in the shadows to comfort the nervous actor. Oh, poor Christopher. Now I feel bad for him. The crew shot predominantly in Glasgow rather than Edinburgh, which is where the story is set, since the Glasgow Film Fund gave them £150,000, which is the equivalent of £364,000 today, grant. So they had to sort of go where the money was, I guess. The film was the most commercially successful British film in 1995. Danny Boyle knew he had a hit on his hands when the film debuted at the Cannes Film Festival, and the organizers had to set up 3 extra screenings of the film to meet audience demand. that must have made him feel really good. You know, it's my first movie and I'm at Cannes and they have to add on all these extra showings. So yeah. Danny Boyle insisted Christopher Eccleston, Ewan McGregor, and Kerry Fox lived together for a week prior to shooting in order for them to develop their characters as flatmates. Eccleston later wrote that the only thing they learned from the experience was that they didn't like each other. So, kind of a weird experiment, I guess, but probably made them closer as, you know, actors for their scenes. The film was the most, as I mentioned, was the most commercially successful film in Britain in 1995. So, Danny Boyle had a hit on his hands, but I don't know how well it did over here in North America. This film currently holds a 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. Derek Bailey of Variety magazine called it, quote, a tar-black comedy that zings along on a wave of visual and scripting inventiveness, unquote. Yeah. When I first rented this movie, my partner and I rented this movie way back in the day on VHS, I was instantly sold on this. I thought this was a great, great movie. And honestly, I picked this DVD up, I think, earlier this year. I had been looking for this DVD for like 4 years since I started like more like seriously thrifting. And so I was very happy to find this because I do believe, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's another movie called Shallow Grave that I see around a lot. And every time I see it, I think, oh, it's not the one I'm looking for. What's that other one about the abduction and they did a remake? And I always see that one. The Vanishing. As another movie, I would love to get my hands on a DVD of The Vanishing, the original. And when I go to the thrift store, I see The Vanishing and I'm like, oh, sweet. But it's the remake, which wasn't a bad movie, but I preferred the original. So I think you guys can remember back, I did a thrifting haul video back in the spring. And when I found this, I was very excited. Like this was definitely the highlight of that particular thrifting haul because I've been looking for this for quite some time. And yeah, this is a really inventive thriller. It's got lots of twists in it that you're not expecting. Weird black humor moments that are really like jarring, but I love that stuff. So I was along for the ride. I love this one right away, like I said, and it was so great to revisit it. And it really held up all these years later. What is that, like 30 years later? I was like, this movie's so good. And Danny Boyle, like right out of the gate, made this. You knew he was going to be doing some good stuff. The tension between the characters really like, so I gave you sort of the synopsis. There's that bag of money and they're all kind of like, we love each other. We're happy flatmates. But then they get kind of like twisted and the tension between these guys and girls is so palpable and it's almost like nauseating. They know they're going to get rid of they agree to get rid of the body. The scene where they're actually burying the body is one of those black humor moments where it's like the guy's like throwing up and the other guy's like talking about food or something. And it's really like gross, but like funny. I love that kind of stuff myself, but maybe not for everybody. But you really kind of feel sick for them at the end as they try to like decide what they're going to do and who's zooming who. And like I said, the tension between them is so intense. There's a scene where Ewan McGregor goes and like lives in the upstairs, like in the attic. And it's like he's really weird and creepy up there. And it's a weird, like very well done movie. But yeah, some of the choices they make, like the characters is like, so the burying of the bodies, the dismembering, it's all so grisly. You don't really see a lot. Like it's not like a Peter Jackson, like blood in your face kind of movie, but it's almost like the implied stuff. And it's like, ugh, it's just nauseating. But yeah, really grisly. The scene with them wandering around a hardware store trying to decide what things to buy to dispose of the body, shovels and all this stuff. Like another one of those kind of like dark humor moments where it's like, do we really need to buy that? We should buy this instead. So it's a really, really cool, like, character study of these three people and what they decide to do once they've made that decision to go over the edge. So yeah, it's very intense, very good thriller. If you like thrillers like that, kind of intense character studies, just like those kind of, it's not like a bank heist movie, obviously, because the money's just sitting there, so they have to decide what to do with it. But that kind of thing where it's like, you know, these people were good, but then the money sort of makes them bad or like twisted. And so you see that change in the characters, which is really well done. So yeah, I think this is, I mean, again, this is Danny Boyle's directorial debut, and right out of the gate, he just comes swinging. And, you know, I was like Train Spotting and 28 Days Later in those movies. You knew like this guy was going to continue to do some really, really good stuff and some really intense stuff. So this was kind of like a little like preview of what's to come kind of thing. So yeah, love this movie. Love this movie. This edition is a DVD from, see if I can find a year on it. I always forget to look that up. I don't see a year on it, but I'm going to guess this is probably, by the feel of it, it's probably like late 90s, I'm guessing. Yeah, it really doesn't say on here. But this is the DVD edition. It's rated 18 in Canada, of course. There is some pretty grisly stuff in here. The runtime is 1 hour, 30 minutes exactly, so perfect for me. This is the winner of the British Academy Awards for Best British Film. Danny Boyle also directed A Life Less Ordinary, which is a film I haven't seen, but Rolling Stone magazine said there's a dash of Hitchcock suspense in this stew. So yeah, this is just great stuff. There's no special features on this DVD, so that kind of leads me to think this is a late 90s, before they sort of started getting into like special features and stuff. I'll show you a look at the inside. The disc art's kind of cool. And there's the chapter list. Is there anything on the back of the chapter list? No, it's just the chapter list in French. So that is the inside of the disc if you're a physical media nerd and you want to see inside. This DVD is in like pristine condition. Like whoever owned this before me took very good care of it. But yeah, I don't know why I can't find a year on it. It's kind of annoying, but like I said, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, you can almost tell by looking at like the case, it's got that weird, it's not fully indented. Kind of makes me think like late 90s, early 2000s, but you know, one of my subscribers actually commented on this when I got it in the thrifting haul and said you can find this movie at every charity shop in Britain, but here in Canada, this was the first time I'd seen this in the 4 years that I've been actively thrifting. So I don't know how common this is. I don't know if this has a Blu-ray or a special, you know, boutique edition. But for me, this is fine for now. If it is on Blu-ray, maybe down the road I'll pick it up. But yeah, great film. You can currently rent this on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple TV. And I'm sure you could probably find this on like eBay or something used. But there's the back. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this film. I almost said Train Spotting. Shallow Grave. Did you see this movie? Did you like this movie? I feel like this probably flew under the radar for a lot of people, and maybe it's not a lot of people didn't see this, but you know, take my word for it. This is definitely highly recommended if you like thrillers, Hitchcock type stuff, just that kind of like that friendship that turns to betrayal and kind of madness. This is just a great film. So let me know your thoughts on Shallow Grave in the comments below. Did you like this movie? Did you not like this movie? Did you not see this movie and you want to? Yeah, that's my thoughts on this film, so let me know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Every Monday I have a Mainstream Monday where I talk about more mainstream fare. Tuesdays is Cult Movie Tuesdays, and Friday, Fright Friday, where I talk about a horror movie. This coming Friday, I have Fire in the Sky, based on a true story. And next Monday, I'll be talking about the Coen Brothers remake of True Grit with Jeff Bridges. So if you like those movies or you're curious about them, be sure to check out those reviews. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video. If there's any movies you want me to review, I will do my best to seek them out if I don't own them, and I will review them for you. Yeah, that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you at the video store. or the thrift store, or just out and about somewhere, hopefully not in some roadside digging a grave for a person that we killed and took their money. So be good to each other, be kind. The world is pretty wacky out there, so take good care of yourselves, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.